Hello everyone, welcome again to the second part of Pitra Paksha video series. This video will continue from exactly where we left off in the first part. In case you are new to this channel and you have not seen the previous video, we will request you to kindly go and check out our previous video and then continue with this video for a better clarification. But before you go, kindly hit that like button, share this video with your friends and family, and subscribe to the channel so that whenever we are online, we can drop in your feed and you can directly get all the information beforehand before anyone else. So let's hit it. Also find the link of first video in the video description. In the previous video, we talked about Pitra Paksha. The story of Pitra Paksha, the story of Pitra Paksha and the 15 days or 16 lunar cycles of Pitra Paksha, and also we talked about various days and what are these days dedicated for in Pitra Paksha. In this video, we will be talking about the do's of Pitra Paksha, the don'ts of Pitra Paksha, and also we will be talking about how to do the Pitra Paksha puja and in what forms our ancestors visit earth to meet all of us. Let us start with the don'ts of Pitra Paksha. The first is nail cutting. Cutting nails in Pitra Paksha is a big no-no. The reason is very simple. Nail is like skin enlargement. These are dead skin cells, and in Pitra Paksha we unite with our ancestors. We don't let them go off. We don't part with the dead. Therefore, we don't cut nails in Pitra Paksha. Similarly, hair cutting, trimming, shaving, any kind of body hair cutting, trimming or shaving, this is not allowed in Pitra Paksha. The reason is same as nail cutting. Hair is dead skin enlargements of the body, and it is not advised to let that go in during the Pitra Paksha time, because in Pitra Paksha time a person is required to stay the most minimalistic and simplistic in possible. And cutting of hair or nail is more towards a personal grooming side, and it is not allowed in Pitra Paksha. Eating non-vegetarian food. Now, non-vegetarian food basically means surviving off the dead meat, and in Pitra Paksha we request the dead to come back to earth and bless us. So if we are surviving on dead meat, we are actually making more people dead than we are actually making our ancestors happy. Therefore, eating non-vegetarian food in Pitra Paksha is strictly forbidden. Drinking alcohol. Alcohol is more like a tamsi food or a luxury food. It makes your brain think about luxury, think about relaxation, and think about anything which is not sattvic, which is not simplistic, which is not worshipable. Therefore, alcohol drinking in Pitra Paksha repels our pitras, and also there is a very reeking smell of blood in non-veg food and alcohol that repels our ancestors, and we don't want to do that. Therefore, drinking alcohol or eating non-vegetarian food in Pitra Paksha is strictly disallowed. One more important aspect of Pitra Paksha which is not allowed and which very less people know about is sharing eatables. In Pitra Paksha time, you should not share your food or water with someone. The basic reason is whenever you give something to someone, you transfer your karmic carbon along with the same thing. Whenever you take something from someone, their karmic carbon transfers to you. Basically, this means that your guilt goes to someone else, someone else's guilt comes back to you, and you should not be open to take over someone else's guilt when your own sins and own problems have not been sorted for. So in Pitra Paksha time, always try not to share your food and vegetables with someone else if there is a barter involved in return. You give something, you get something back. If this is a barter, do not do this in Pitra Paksha time. Now enough with the don'ts. Let's focus on the do's. Worshipping gods and ancestors. So in Pitra Paksha time, our ancestors are considered the closest link to God. Therefore, when we worship ancestors, we also worship our gods. So in Pitra Paksha time, the maximum tarpan and Shraddha Puja we do, the maximum we will be leading our life towards happiness. Therefore, try to worship as much as possible, live the most simplistic way as possible, and make sure that you do not upset anyone else. Offering food and water to the needy. As discussed in the previous video, when Karn did not provide food and water to the needy in his lifetime, he did not receive the same in heaven. Similarly, if you provide food and water to the needy to the best of your capabilities, then only a portion of that will be reserved for you in heaven. So try to help everyone in any manner. Also, it is believed that when our ancestors visit our earth, they try to take multiple forms. They try to take multiple incarnations, and these incarnations will be fed off only if you provide them with a share of your food and water. control on language. This is a very important aspect. In Pitra Paksh, you do not know in which form your ancestors have taken. To discuss more about the forms of our ancestors, kindly stay tuned to the end of this video. So in Pitra Paksh, you do not know what form your ancestors have taken, and you do not know which way they will be appearing in front of you. So if you have a habit of cursing, of using foul language, ugly language or unparliamentary language that can repel someone, that can anger someone else, it is most likely that you can anger a Pitra without even knowing that they are your ancestors or someone else's ancestors, and you don't want to take that risk. Therefore, try to control your language to the maximum possible limit as possible, and make sure that you are very polite on your tongue. Staying humble. Sometimes helping is not every time possible. If someone asks something from you and you're not able to do it, it's very normal, it's common. But when you deny them, deny with humbleness. At least in Pitra Paksh time, try to be as humble as you can when someone asks for something and you're not able to provide the same thing to them. Why? Because that someone or that something could be your ancestor or ancestor of someone very close, and if they're asking for help and you're not able to provide and you deny humbly, they will be okay with it. But if you deny in a bad manner, in a rude manner, it will repel them, it will make them angry, it will not make them bless you, and this is an unwanted curse you don't want on yourself. Lastly, don't want anything in return. So in case you are providing something to someone, don't expect that the same thing will come back to you or something greater good will come back to you. Just think that you have given this as a donation and this is gone forever. This is stored for you in heaven. When you give with this attitude, not just in Pitra Paksh time but in any other time, you will not anger someone, and this will lead to a happier lifestyle and a happier mindset as well. These points are not to scare you or not to tell you that these are the rules or guidelines. These are just normal possible methods to keep your life happy, to keep yourself satisfied. Therefore, you can keep your ancestors satisfied or someone else's ancestors satisfied. Basically, keeping everyone happy around you and maintaining your own mental peace. So this is basically a holy time period just to make you detoxify from the normal life cycle you have been witnessing, and also control some of your actions, deeds, or behavior skills. This does not mean that once you have done something bad, there is a point of no return. It just means that you don't enter a point of no return, so that you don't anger your ancestors or you don't anger the energies traveling around in the universe that can actually bless you but will not be able to do so because of your own behavioral skills. Now, if we ask that when we have talked enough about Pitra Paksh, but when is this Pitra Paksh? So in India, Pitra Paksh is observed from 10th September 2022 to 24th September 2022. Basically from one day after the Ganesh Visarjan to Sarva Pitri Amavasya, the period of 15 days or 16 lunar cycles. So many of you might ask how to do Pitra Paksh Puja, how to do Shraddha Puja. Let us see how to do a Shraddha Puja. It is very simple and very easy. Take a bath in the morning. Sit down go to an open area, preferably a place where you can find a tree or you can put a potted plant. Take a Kush Asan with you. So a Kush Asan in Sanskrit it means a mat made of grass. So if you cannot have a Kush Asan, if you don't have a Kush Asan, try to sit on the grass and sit in front of a tree or keep a potted plant in front of you. Now take a grass twig. If you can take the grass twig, take a grass twig, or take a grass which has gone dry, a dry grass. Put it between your first finger and the middle finger. Hold it like this in your hands, and put some holy water or jal in your hand. Fold your hands and try reciting about all your ancestors, the name and relation with all your ancestors you are trying to do the puja for. Sometimes it is possible that you might not remember all the names. So try and make a list of all the names and relationship on a piece of paper and read from it. If still you believe that there is something you have left off and you don't remember, just recite the mantra Sarvebhyo Pitra Devebhyo Namah, which literally translates to all the Pitra Devtas. And we have already talked about how Pitras are the gods. So all the Pitra Devtas, Sarvebhyo Pitra Devebhyo Namah. Now fold your hands, recite the names of all the Pitras or the above mantra, and now recite a prayer to seek their blessings. If you know a proper shloka or mantra, you can recite that. If you don't, just recite a normal prayer in your mind. Ask them for to relieve themselves, or ask your God to relieve your ancestors of all the pains and all the problems. Ask your ancestors to bless you and your ancestors for a happier living in the afterlife. Now, after you are done with this, put down the jal in the roots of the plant. Put down the twig in the roots of the plant. Bow your head, take away your mat, and you are done with the puja. It is as simple as this. Now you will say that this is a very basic method of doing the puja. There are more advanced ways. Yes, there are multiple advanced ways of doing it, and this is one of the most basic methods in which you can do a Pitra Paksha puja without with all the requirements. If you want to do a more advanced puja, kindly go to a temple, ask a priest, or you can contact us on our contact details that is mentioned in the video description, and we will help you with your Shraddha Tarpan puja. Now, this was all about Pitra Paksha and the do's and don'ts and how to do the puja. Let us also know that how our ancestors visit our earth and how do they bless all of us. So, in general, our ancestors, when the soul leaves the body, it leaves in the format of humans. But when the ancestors visit back, they can visit in 4 formats. They can visit as humans, they can visit as birds, animals, or nature. Now, if they visit as humans, they will be visiting as innocent young children, or maybe the most genuinely elderly people who would seek your help. Reason, these both are considered the most innocent at hearts and most experienced at hearts to be connected toward, to be the direct messengers towards gods, towards any god. Second, if they come as birds, they will be coming as crow or pigeons. Reason why? Crow and pigeons were used as message transferers from one person to another, from one place to another, and literally this is exactly why they transfer your blessing, your message, your forgiveness, your blessings from yours to your ancestors. And therefore, whenever your ancestors are around, they might be around in the way of crows and pigeons, or the message to them will reach via crows or pigeons if it happens if the form of messenger is birds. Now, if the form of messenger is animals, then the pitras will take the form of either cow or dogs. Cow, because in Sanskrit it is said a cow has the ability to hold the blessings of 33 Koti Devi Devta, which means 33 crores gods and goddesses within the cow. This means that any message that you have to send towards your ancestors or to your gods, you can just whisper it to a cow. You can just make the cow a medium and it will directly reach your gods. Same goes for dogs, but for dogs, dogs are the vehicle of Kal Bhairav, and Kal Bhairav is the closest connection to your ancestors because they are related to Kal, they are related to life after death. And therefore, if the pitras take form of any animal, they will either take the form of a cow or they will take a form of a dog. Lastly, if the pitras take the form of nature, they will take the form of tree, air, or ants. Ants and air because it is omnipresent, and tree because it imbibes negativity and breathes out positivity. It imbibes carbon dioxide and breathes out oxygen. Basically, this is why when we discussed in the video in the starting only that have a control on your language, because if these pitras are, if your pitras, your ancestors or someone else's ancestor is present at that moment when you have when you utter something bad, it might make them feel bad, it might make them feel angry, it might make them feel disrespectful, and you wouldn't want that on your conscience. Therefore, make sure that you follow all the rules of the Pitra Paksha. Make sure that you do not indulge into any unwanted activities, and basically do Shraddha and Tarpan Puja every day so that you and your ancestors, everyone is happy. Now that we have reached the end of this episode, I would like to talk about Rudraksha, which is our startup from Varanasi. We aim to provide a one-stop shopping solution for all the religious and spiritual requirements. Now we don't just end over there, we also aim at providing the best religious and spiritual content out there so that people like you who really are interested into knowing the best and the most original authentic information about any religious or spiritual problems or topics can reach us and can find the authentic, original and most pure content over here. With this, we will be meeting you in next video. Till then, stay happy, stay worshipping, and Har Har Mahadev.